Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Jessie. Haya seen ile ambalo nataka kuniita lote tu sawa na majina mengi unaweza tumia. Anyway, forgive me for putting this pillow here. I am bloated. I am so bloated. I am not ready to show you guys what I'm working with. Please just allow. Anyway, so welcome to my channel. Natumai kwamba mko salama, mna buheri wa afya, mwenyewe mko salama mnavyonona, nafurahia. So, I have tried to record these videos endo tag for around, let's say 4 weeks, give or take. And the reason why I couldn't post anything is I felt like the content was not sufficient. It was not adding any value and somewhat too emotional. So you know how you're recording something and you start crying, and then I'm like, hell nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a strong, independent woman. I'm kidding. Yeah, it was a bit hard, but then Zila advised me, post content that you're happy with, and so I decided, scratch that, pull up, start it over again. So that is what I'm doing. Anyway, so for the longest time I have tried to talk about endometriosis, and I think the reason I had a hard time is because I did not know where to start. I didn't know where I was coming from, where I was. But I think I figured it out, and that's what I'm starting with today. I am starting with a young girl's tag because I started my period when I was a young girl. So how about starting from the genesis of the story and then continuing from there? So that's what we're going to do, y'all. Anyway, acha niwaambie niko nervous. Karibu naonyeshe ambayo hamfai kuyaona. Anyway, sasa story time tag for young girls. Yes. I was 14. I was with my dad. My period started. I'm trying to cut the story. The problem was I was going through like at that point I had diarrhea, and then when I wiped there was blood coming from front and back. So you cannot also be too sure if you're dealing with periods, amoeba, what could it be? So dad hollered at mom, they came, they took me to the hospital. They take me to the hospital because we got the medicine later from the drugstore. Anyway, and doctor check, no amoeba, no stomach bug, nothing. And they're like, you know what, this is only period, it's nothing else. But then my mom is like, hold up, how is she getting her period from the back and forth? And the doctor is like, you know, these things happen. Sometimes they can just start with a lot of things. Ignore it. It's no big deal. At that point, I remember I couldn't walk properly. I was 14, and the amount of pain I was feeling felt like someone was passing a chainsaw through my stomach. And at that point, I wasn't only dealing with period pain, dysmenorrhea, I also had a general stomachache, and I kept having intense diarrhea for a while. Intense diarrhea, I'm sorry. My neighbors are, it's a bit noisy, I'm sorry. Saturday, yeah, so, yes, went back home, got some drugs, you know, painkillers and general antibiotics in case there was a bag in my stomach, so that I got. And then, you know, it continued for a whole week, right? And it was crazy because first of all, I wasn't able to go to school. I was vomiting. I had fatigue. I had migraines. I had a backache. I'm trying to recall all the symptoms I was going through at the age of 14. Obviously, nishasema kuhara. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. My mind sometimes. Anyway, so that's about it with regard to the symptoms I had when I was 14. Now, let me take you a bit further. When I was 10 years old, I was studying at Aria school, and we had these ladies that would come and teach us about periods. They from always, yes. So now this time wakakuja wakatufundisha, wakatuachia, everybody was left with 2 packs of always pads, the the tiny ones. And then a bit later, one of the girls got her periods during assembly, and it was such a huge deal because now after she started hers, everybody would come out and say, I also started my periods. Now remember, I'm 10 years, everybody has started their periods. Mimi niachwe nyuma, sijaanza periods as whom? Why? What? Never. So even me, Monday came, I carried a pad, I went to class during break time, I tell Evelyn, oh hey Evelyn, I started my periods and I want you to help me go to the bathroom and change. I don't want anyone coming and opening, the door and finding me changing. Mawongo nazo. See, she took me. Then after we come back, she's not telling everybody, hey, Jessie also started her period. I was ecstatic. Periods? I'm one of the girls now. I ain't no dude just because I got a flat chest. Oops. Now I got periods and it was huge. Hiya, I was 10. 4 years later, see, they came. See, they showed me manenos. See, I thought that was... Actually, I just regret looking forward to my periods. If I was given the opportunity, I would have asked to have my periods like when I was like, I don't know, 18, 19. Because the moment they started, and then that's now high school coming, and it was crazy because I went to a boarding school. And now I had those symptoms. I would go to the nurse's office when it was intense. I went to school in a very cold place. And one thing I've realized, for me, pain elevates the level of pain that I'm going through. So I would always be at the nurse's station getting meds. My mom would pick me sometimes to go back home and just get checked, and it was just intense. Now fast forward, so that's what I went through when I was younger. So I'm not saying that migraines, diarrhea, vomiting, backache, not being able to walk, nausea and whatnot are generally associated with endometriosis, but I'm just saying that was the genesis of my symptoms. Okay. Fast forward to 2014, I had gone for surgery, still to do with things pertaining to my womanhood. And I remember I was assisted by Dr. Dr. Maureen. She's a gynecologist, so this was at Nairobi West Hospital. And after the procedure, she tells me, Jessie, you have adenomyosis. Now, I'm going to come to terminologies next time. So there is adenomyosis and there is endometriosis. So she tells me that she's certain I have adenomyosis. That's when she told me my womb is retroverted. It means I have a shy womb. And later on, while going through tests, jamani simtankoma leo kushema. She also mentioned that she saw some cysts near my ovaries. And she also, later on, upon another consultation, she saw I had fibroids. Now, mark you, I was 22 years old. And these are the things that I'm being told. Adenomyosis, cysts because of PCOS, fibroids, generally having hormonal imbalance of the highest order, and at the same time dealing with all the other symptoms that were coming through, endometriosis. It was a hard time, I won't lie, it was so hard for me. And now, think about life, you put on a brave face. Right now I have this face, but in my head, when I remember what I used to go through, show up to work and face everybody and pretend to be okay. You know what I mean? Sometimes going to the bathroom and my period since I was 14, I used to tell my mom I have livers because my periods were so heavy, they would clot, and the clot looked like liver was pouring out of me. and I would fill up a pad, like it felt like I was bleeding profusely. I would fill up like close to the whole sachet of pads. Sometimes I'd have to wear both a tampon and a pad just to get through the day. Like I would be switching and alternating between that. So I finished up with Dr. Maureen. This is now still 2014. Actually still in 2014. This is the end of the year, what I'm talking about. I was referred by Mom Christine. Mom Christine, I love you. Mom Christine, to go to Aga Khan Hospital, Mombasa. There's a doctor, a very lovely doctor. Her name is Dr. Gita Shah, if I'm allowed to mention names. I think it's permissible. And she is the one that, you know, started my case all over again. Now, proceeding from Dr. Maureen. Maureen was cool, she assisted me, but then now I was in Mombasa, so, you know, came that aid from Dr. Gita Shah. So I carried all my files from Dr. Maureen and transferred them to Dr. Gita Shah. And so we went in, and I remember the doctor, I think the first thing she told me was, be calm, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. Because I remember when I was telling her my history, I rap, by the way, when I'm talking sometimes I rap. That's me. And she was like, calm down, we are not in a hurry, calm down, tell me, what are you going through? What are you feeling? And I explained everything. And at that point, I had started developing new symptoms now. I'm not so sure what happens between endometriosis and body change over time, especially now that I had become older from what happened when I was 14. Now I was 22.